Hello, welcome to the information webinar for the CalSEED 2020 grant solicitation. Applications for the CalSEED grant open on February 28th and close on March 16th. In this quick webinar, we'll go through an overview of the CalSEED program. We'll talk about the entrepreneur journey of CalSEED awardees. We'll talk about the eligibility requirements for a CalSEED grant. We'll describe how the process works, the application process, and the review process. We'll talk about the application timeframe, and we will give you some contact information. So the California Sustainable Energy Entrepreneur Development Initiative is a grant program that is funded by electricity consumers. Whenever you see the term California ratepayers, utility ratepayers, it's talking about electricity customers, anyone who pays a bill to a utility. A few cents of every bill every month goes into this electric program investment charge to be spent on R&D for clean energy innovations. This grant program is made possible by the California Energy Commission. New Energy Nexus is a not-for-profit group. We run the CalSEED program on behalf of the California Energy Commission. We work with regional clusters around the state. We work with Activation Energy from Cyclotron Road, the Los Angeles Clean Tech Incubator, Blue Tech Valley out of CSU Fresno, and the Southern California Energy Innovation Network out of San Diego. We also partner with a number of organizations to deliver on this program. We partner with Clean Tech Open, Momentum, the Greenlining Institute, who helps us with some of the eligibility criteria and scoring of applications. We also collaborate with the Berkeley Lab, the Center for Energy Research, the Energy Efficiency Center at UC Davis, and the Center for Sustainable Energy. So what is the CalSEED Award? Starting February 28th through March 16th, applications will open for what we call the Concept Award. The Concept Award is $150,000 equity-free, undiluted dollars. This is a grant that enables concept development and provides different kinds of assistance for early stage startups, including mentorship from leaders and introductions to resources to advance your clean energy concept. All concept awardees are eligible to apply for a prototype award through a business plan competition. It's a competitive process to win an additional $450,000. So what does your entrepreneur journey look like as a CalSEED awardee? We start with an introduction to the California Energy Innovation ecosystem. We work on your contract and your program orientation. We do some cohort building. We have a kickoff boot camp. We make you with mentors. Through the process, you go through Clean Tech Open, which is a clean energy accelerator program. And there you will go through pitch clinics, business clinics. You'll go through other exercises to develop a business plan. And throughout the process, you'll be checking in with the CalSEED team and attend optional webinars. Grant dollars are really important. That's probably why you're watching this. It's probably why you're going to apply to CalSEED. But in addition to grant dollars, the CalSEED program connects you to a powerful network of clean energy entrepreneurs and experts throughout the state, connects you to mentorship, operational and technical resources, different online training resources, legal counsel, the regional innovation clusters, and the Clean Tech Open Accelerator. Clean Tech Open is a national accelerator. We work with the Western region, and they provide training through national academies, webinars, and practice judging and business clinics. They provide mentorship with local and international mentors. They provide access to capital, so you can build strategic relationships with investors, angel groups, and VC firms. And there's also showcasing opportunities through regional and national events. So how CalSEED works is you apply online. All applications go through a technical review. A technical advisory committee scores all of the applications, and the top scores then go on to receive a concept award. Concept awardees go through capacity building through the CalSEED team as well as Clean Tech Open, and then they enter a business plan competition where they can compete to win a prototype award. What does eligibility look like? So CalSEED is open to California-based applicants working on early stage innovations. So you have to be based in California, and you have to show that your innovation that you are proposing has some sort of benefit to California utility ratepayers. You have to be in good standing with the California Secretary of State to receive awards, since this is funded by California electricity ratepayers. The funds do need to go to California-based companies, and there does need to be a social impact or social benefit for California utility ratepayers. Developing a technology currently at technical readiness level 2, 3, or 4. We'll go through in the next few slides what that means with regards to where you're at in terms of developing your technology. There's also a set of eligible technology areas that this particular solicitation in 2020 is focused on, so that we can make sure that these ratepayer dollars are going into technologies that can meet the state's clean energy objectives. There's also a $1 million private funding cap. So if you've raised more than $1 million of private funding, you are too late stage for the CalSEED award. We encourage applications from individuals and teams. You don't need an organizational affiliation to apply. If you are with an organization, we accept applications from startups, small businesses, and other kinds of companies. We accept applications from nonprofit organizations, from independent labs, community groups, or other collectives. We do not accept applications from universities. If you are a student, a graduate student, or a researcher associated with the university, do not apply from a university, as we do not accept applications from a university. You can always apply as an individual or a team if that's your case. So there's 5 main technology areas where we are accepting applications in. I'm not going to read this out loud, but you do need to fall within one of these examples in order to be eligible for a CalSEED award. This table is also on the CalSEED website. If you go to the bottom of the apply page, you will see a menu to the left where you can select through some of the eligibility criteria. This table is located there. So I encourage you to go to the calseed.fund website to take a look and see if your technology falls within one of these areas. CalSEED funds hardware, software, and integrated solutions. We're pretty specific with the kinds of technologies that we will accept within these 3 areas. So for hardware, we're looking for innovations that include manufacturing equipment, sensors, transmission and distribution infrastructure improvements. For software, we're looking for algorithms for grid reliability and control, IoT applications, demand response. We're not going to fund apps, websites, or games. For integrated solutions, those solutions that combine both software and hardware, we're looking for microgrid solutions, building efficiency optimization, or community access to clean energy. The key here is that we're not looking to fund single non-replicable solutions. We're looking to fund technologies that can scale. What is early stage? If you have a hardware innovation, if you've done an analytics study, you have a proof of concept, or you validated basic functionality in a laboratory, that's early stage. For software, this includes alpha versions, if you have the requirements defined, or if you have the basic principles coded. For integrated solutions, if you have preliminary mapping or combining, if there's minimal integration, early testing, or if you've identified the system components. On the other end, you're probably too late stage if your technology works smoothly, if it's considered operational or it's been debugged, if it's beyond a pilot scale prototype, if it's currently being manufactured, certified, or commercialized, it's too late stage for CalSEED. If it's been successfully incorporated in a larger system, if the software is classified as a beta, if you have a full-scale demonstration, you are too late stage for CalSEED. In addition, if you're generating any revenue or if you have any existing customers, you're too late stage for CalSEED. There are a number of other grant programs available through the CEC as well as through the Air Resources Board that might be a better fit for your startup and your technology if you are too late stage. There's some additional requirements for CalSEED, and I'm joined by my colleague from the Greenlining Institute to talk about that a little bit more.
I work at the Greenlining Institute, and we are a partner for CalSEED. The Greenlining Institute is a racial and economic justice public policy organization. Our mission is to build a nation where communities of color thrive and race is never a barrier to opportunity. Greenlining is actually a made-up word referring to the practice of redlining, which was a government-sanctioned policy from the 1930s where housing agencies, bankers, and realtors would draw red lines around communities of color to mark them off limits for federal investments. While redlining was outlawed by the 1968 Fair Housing Act, the impacts of redlining are still felt everywhere by communities of color, including in the clean energy sector. As a result of decades of disinvestment, communities of color and low-income communities are left with inadequate and aging infrastructure, lack of green spaces, and disproportionate exposure to air pollution because they're often located near polluting facilities like oil refineries. And these communities tend to pay disproportionate costs for energy. So the Greenlining is a partner for the CalSEED program because we see CalSEED as a great opportunity to address some of the energy injustices we have seen in our communities. We want to make sure that California's clean energy economy is as accessible and inclusive as possible. So social equity and impact are important parts of CalSEED, and I want to spend the next few minutes talking about that. So what is equity and why is it a part of CalSEED? Let's unpack the word equity. This graphic on the right you see illustrates the difference between the two words, equity and equality. Equality is the assumption that the playing field is level and therefore a one-size-fits-all solution is appropriate. Equity, on the other hand, acknowledges that people start from different places in life because of past systemic injustices such as redlining. With an equity approach, you create solutions that meet the needs of different groups based on where they are. In the context of CalSEED, equity means understanding that communities of color and low-income communities have suffered the most from the injustices of the fossil fuel-based economy, and they will be the ones that will be hit first and worst by climate change impacts. So as California moves to a clean energy economy, we must place equity at the forefront of clean energy innovations. We want all communities to have the same access to the health and economic benefits of a clean energy economy. This is why CalSEED is committed to making equity a key component of the program. So how does equity show up in CalSEED? Well, we've developed a two-pronged strategy. The first we're calling Equity In, and this really gets at how we can bring equity into the program. This strategy focuses mostly on how we conduct outreach. During outreach, we really try to focus on how we can bring the most diverse group of applicants from all over California and encourage them to apply for CalSEED, because we see CalSEED as an opportunity to support entrepreneurs who have great clean technology innovations, but maybe lack the advanced degrees, connections, or even significant experience in the tech world to apply for the funding and transform their ideas into reality. The second strategy we're calling Equity Out, and this really gets at how CalSEED awardees can create equitable solutions and bring them out to communities. We know that disadvantaged communities and low-income communities need long-term job opportunities, innovative programs that reduce the cost of energy, and clean energy investments that create healthier environments. So CalSEED works to address these issues by encouraging entrepreneurs to think of innovative ways of bringing clean, equitable energy solutions to our California communities that need them the most. We often hear from awardees what we hear often from awardees about the social equity part of the program is that their innovations are too early stage to think about social impact benefits. Considering the high risk nature of the field, we hear they can't afford to think about social impact. We disagree. Social impact should not be an afterthought. Rather, it should be built into the foundation of how ideas are developed, how products are designed, and how companies are run. So we strongly encourage applicants to think about the short and long-term social impact benefits they hope to achieve with their innovation. So how do we screen for equity in the application process? The application screens for equity by asking applicants to think about the social impact of their innovation. Then the application is scored in equity, in impact, and innovation. In the application process, applicants will need to prove that their innovation could meet at least one of the following impact criteria. The first is creating economic opportunities. How is your innovation going to increase economic opportunities in disadvantaged communities? One example of thinking about this could be contracting with small, diverse-owned businesses for your supply chain, or in hiring a diverse workforce. Second, how is your innovation going to increase access to clean energy solutions for communities that need them the most? For this, you could think of low-income renter segment of the population. How is your product going to be accessible and affordable to folks that rent or maybe move around a lot? Third and fourth will be a combined criteria. How is your technology going to decrease pollution burdens for folks that live in the most polluted neighborhoods? One example of addressing this criteria could be you could pilot your project in a disadvantaged community that experiences high levels of air pollution. And lastly, the fifth criteria is new, but we really want entrepreneurs to think about how your innovation could improve the resiliency and reliability of electricity services impacted by extreme weather-related events. So think about the recent public safety power shutoffs. Groups that are most impacted by these power shutoffs would be low-income families with small children, the elderly, folks that rely on electricity for medical equipment. Thank you for working with us to ensure an equitable clean energy economy for all Californians.
Thank you. So how does it work? Eligibility applications open February 28th, and that application window closes on March 16th. This application window is open to all. It's a pretty short eligibility application. It should take you about an hour to complete. All of the applications that are submitted on time go through an eligibility screening through all of the criteria that we've talked about so far. And those applicants that pass the eligibility screening are invited back to fill out a full application. That full application window lasts from March 27th through April 16th, and that is much longer. It could take anywhere from 3 to 10 hours to complete the full application. So everything is done online. As part of the eligibility application, you will be asked to answer some multiple choice questions and write out a description of your innovation in the stage of development. You will be asked to describe your clean energy concept, to disclose the amount of funding that you've raised to date, and to identify the potential for community impact that your innovation has once it's scaled. As part of the full application, you'll be asked to provide additional information about your clean energy concept and its potential benefits. You'll be asked to describe how your technology fits into an existing market space, how your technology is innovative for the scientific field, as well as how the technology could provide different social and economic benefits that were described earlier. We're also going to ask you to describe your team and your organization, and you'll have an opportunity to attach letters of support if you have them. There's an application manual at CalSEED.fund. Please take a look at that application manual. There's also a list of all the application questions at CalSEED.fund. If you go to the apply page, you will see links to those materials. So the review process, the full applications that we receive are scored by a technical advisory committee. We have a technical advisory committee of potentially 50 experts in each of the 4 areas of the application, and we, the CalSEED team, match your application to different sections of your application to experts that have experience evaluating the technical merits of your innovation, experts who have experience working in low-income disadvantaged communities with CSR and with ESG. And we have panels of experts who have experience looking at commercialization and looking at a team's ability to deliver on a project, experts with kind of startup entrepreneurship experience. The innovation panel will be looking at your application, and they'll be asked to consider if the project goal is achievable. They'll be asked to consider if you understand the key technical and commercial challenges. And they're looking for how your innovation would improve upon existing products or solutions. The impact panel is going to look at how your innovation will benefit California ratepayers. What communities would benefit from your innovation? How would your innovation increase access to clean energy within disadvantaged communities? And what kinds of economic development opportunities will the innovation create? The readiness panel will look at how your team proposes to use the concept award funds. What would be your project milestones? And is this project and the milestones feasible? The panel that's evaluating your team is going to look at who's on your project team and why is this team the right team, and what have the team members done before that would contribute to the success of this project. I think it's tempting for many people to try to lay out a full corporate development strategy. The advice that we give, or the guidance that we give to technical advisory committee members, is to really look at the scope of work that you propose in the CalSEED application, and then see if the team is ready to deliver on that scope of work. So we try to contain the evaluation to just kind of what's proposed in your application. So what are some important dates? February 28th through March 16th is the eligibility application window. That's when you can go in and register in the grant management system that you will find from the apply link on the calseed.fund website. From March 17th through March 16th, we do the eligibility review, and notifications go out on or around March 26th through March 27th. Then applicants who pass the eligibility screening will be invited back to fill out a full application. That full application window lasts from March 27th through April 17th, sorry. And then after that application window has closed, the technical advisory committee reviews the application. It's important to note here that the review and award timing are subject to change based on approval process. All of the grants that CalSEED gives have to be approved by the California Energy Commission at one of their monthly business meetings. We anticipate this happening potentially August, potentially September. So we will not find out the final approvals or declines until late in the summer. That's all of the information session we have right now. If you have any questions, please email info@calseed.fund, and we look forward to seeing your application. Thank you very much.